What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is the only sports podcast. That's right, the only sports podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. How we doing today, Casino?
I'm doing good.
That's
I don't know. I was feeling
I
groovy for a minute. What I don't know what all these things are. All these, but apparently
I've
like
never s-
that's I don't know.
I've,
It's past
I've
this prime already.
I've never seen that before in my life.
So
So
for
I
our
don't know.
listeners, it's like doing the groovy eye thing, but like the opposite way. I don't know. I've seen kids do it. I'm way, but that was like 2 years ago, so I'm behind on
Huh.
everything.
Yeah.
I'm doing great.
I
I'm doing great.
I have put way too much work in today's show, Casino, which is why my hair is so crazy. Uh
Well,
because
I'm ready
I
to fuck it up.
yeah.
Where my
Uh
kids are. Let's go.
but first, Casino, I said I had a surprise for you.
Oh,
So
great.
I don't know if
Do I
I
got to
don't
get
know
the
if
lube?
I don't know if you heard or not, but a really big thing happened between two people that the world was focused on. There's already been memes about it. There's been a bunch of discussion about it. And of course, I'm talking about the most topical thing. Did you see that Shannon Sharp was,
What a build up.
was he went on Instagram Live and apparently was clapping cheeks very loudly, grunting and groaning for, I mean, a good 10 minutes before he actually realized he was on Instagram Live. At first, he said, or I believe he said, like, oh, I was hacked. I was hacked. And then he did an emergency podcast of his own and was like, nope, I don't know how to do Instagram Live. It started on my phone. I put my phone down, got down to business. And then he didn't find out till afterwards that Instagram Live had captured the sounds of the whole thing. So, thoughts, Casino.
I
Thoughts.
just pulled it up.
And has
Whew.
this ever happened to you?
No, definitely not. I love I'm just reading some tweets right now. I love that it's like now he has a Viagra sponsorship. That's great. That's funny. Ah, dude, like there's some really good stuff here.
uh,
Oh,
it
that's
is
I think that's great. Good for him though. Good for him. Good for him for getting it in. You know,
yeah, but
good
now
on him.
that's what I'm saying. Like everybody making fun of him is just like as if he did. First off, why the hell would he ever do this on purpose?
And ESPN will not discipline him.
Well,
Apparently, is what.
that now this is where this is the discussion I want to have about this, Casino is so obviously this was a mistake, but he does work for a Disney corporation who is fake, fake, like family friendly and family
Well, definitely.
oriented and all that
Well,
kind of stuff.
definitely not anymore, as they absorb so much. I mean, there's our movies on Disney Plus now, so
That is, dude, that's so weird. When I like boot up Disney Plus and it's like showing an advertisement for like an R-rated horror movie up top, and it's just like I don't know, it's weird. But so where the double standard, or I guess just like
I hate it.
why does Disney do this and not this? Is they fired Paul Pierce for a photo of him being taken at a strip
Well,
club
let's go
with strippers
Disney. Let's
around
go
him.
ESPN Disney, like Disney
Yes,
ESPN. Like it's still ESPN. You know,
but
yes,
under
it's
the Disney brand.
yes
Yes.
under the Disney branch, but I'm sure ESPN has a lot more control over themselves than other organizations that Disney has brought in and bought out because ESPN is world huge, dude. So I mean that's just my saying on it. But you're right, like ESPN, Disney, whoever's calling the shots on it, they have they have fired people. They have put people on leave for so much less. It
Mhm.
is ridiculous that he can have his sex audio recorded and not get in trouble.
And also, I don't think he should get in trouble. But I'm saying if we're gonna do this double standard thing where
Well,
it's like your employee can't be at a fucking strip club, now all of a sudden it's just like, oh yeah, but this can happen and we're fine with it. Like this is more suggestive than the strip club thing.
by far, by far. I just it yeah, I hate it. I hate the double standard. I'm not saying that, again, good on him, good for him. Obviously, it was a true obvious mistake. Doesn't seem to be tech savvy. I'm not tech savvy. I could tell you right now that I'm not tech savvy. I'm just smart about not carrying my phone around me and slapping cheeks. Um, I'm just not going to do that. Um, Next podcast, we'll work on that. But you've got to stay to it. And I thought out of all the people, ESPN, this corporation, the very straight laced ESPN, people have been fired for way less when it
Mhm.
comes to this stuff. Um, that even just like allegations for things that people have
Oh,
done
yeah. Just
or whatnot.
if anything just makes it look like give, like, a bad image, Disney'll be most likely like, "Get out of here."
Oh,
Like,
all day.
we're
So
yeah, so
I don't like it. I think it's another drop by Disney again. I by ESPN again. They the double standard is bad. I mean, but again, good on him for slapping cheeks. Good on him. He deserves it.
Yeah. He
He deserves
shouldn't,
it.
no,
He had to
he
he
deserves
had to
it.
put up with Skip Baylor for so long. He had some anger. He had some pent up anger. He needed to take care of it. He was stressed. Let him have some fun.
I'm glad he didn't get,
Now, what about
in trouble. What?
what what would have made it better if he accidentally was like a skip, a skip, a skip, just like in the middle.
Well,
My
maybe
daughter
the
thought that was funny.
funniest
You don't know what
the
I'm
f
talking about.
maybe the funniest tweet, like, that I saw about it
That just
was
woke up my son. Oh,
maybe
that's
the
great.
funniest, tweet I saw about it was Michelle Beadle on Twitter just posted a
Oh, I
simple
love her. And
she
again,
posted
there's a perfect example.
oh, that is true. But she posted a three-letter or no, a four-word thing that just said or no, I'm sorry, it is 3 words that just said, "It wasn't me," which is
She's so
which
great.
is that
I
is perfect.
uh, I miss
Yeah.
her so much. I miss her on the air so much.
She's doing I think she's hosting some type of show, but it's on I've also noticed with DirecTV not having ESPN, no other sports channel decided to do a show where they show sports highlights. That seems so weird to me. Like it seems like the easiest
This is
thing
Fox
to
Sports'
do.
chance.
That's what I'm saying, and they have, like, nothing equivalent to SportsCenter. And then, you have, like,
Oh, I guess that
NFL and
calmed him down. He
NBA
calmed down. He calmed down.
and MLB TV, but they show only highlights from
Oh yeah.
like, individual sports.
I mean,
Like
and they're like, I love the NHL Network when they literally start at 100 and they're like 100 best deke of the last like 20 years, and it just like breaks it, goes through, and I'm like, that's fun because it's literally the top 10, but it's the top 100 of like a
yeah.
specific skill, which I find fun. Like best 100 goalie saves of the last 30 years. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. I just zone in. Like, I want to see that. The top 10, I stop what I'm doing. I'll be at work and I'll tell customers if I know them. Obviously, I'm not going to deny just random customers, but I'll be like, oh, top 10's on. Hold on a second. But when I was at my old job and it was more all regulars and not this more fast turnover tourism that I'm getting at the new job. The old job, I would literally just be like interrupt my guests and be like, "Hold on, top 10, give me a second." But I love a good countdown. The fact that nobody's doing it, you're so right. I
That's
need it.
it's so weird. But all right, Casino, we ready to jump into
Let's
NFL week
jump in.
two?
We got a time limit today. We started late.
We
You have to
did
get your
start
son
late.
today.
I do not.
Oh,
He
you're
now
good.
he now rides the bus. So but yeah,
Is
so
yeah, yeah.
it is a regular size bus.
Okay.
Rides a regular size
Okay.
bus.
All right.
but,
Cool.
but NFL week 2 Casino, before we get into that, we have to I can't believe we didn't do it on the last episode. We did not say who won the weekend. And so I'm shocked we didn't do that on Tuesday. But who won the weekend, Casino? First week in the books. Daddy
Patriots won
over
the
here.
weekend.
Daddy over here got 11 points. Daddy is me. I'm pointing to me. And Casino over there got 10 points. But now here's where I want your
Oh,
discussion.
it's not as bad as I thought.
So I got 11, you got 10. Now here's my the discussion we have to have. We both didn't get our upset pick, so no extra points there. We both got wrong in our blowout of the week, no extra points there. The best game of the week, I clearly got wrong because I said it was 49ers Jets, which that game was awful. You
I thought
said the
I think
best
I said that too.
No, you said your best game of the week would be Ravens Chiefs. So,
Okay.
are
That was pretty good.
are are we saying that was the best game
No,
of the week?
it
Which
wasn't. It was better than yours, but no, the best game of the week was by far the Lions Rams.
See, I would agree. So, that
I was on
means
the edge of
going
my seat the entire goddamn time. It was so
so
good.
yes. So that would mean that we are going into this week. I have a one game lead on you, Casino. I have 11, you have 10.
And you know
And
what? I'm proud of you because normally last week or last year and the year before, you could barely break 10
that's
ever.
true. That's
So
true.
good on you.
Uh
And if I stuck, if you didn't call me out for saying, "Boo, you're picking all the favorites, boo," I would have had a couple more wins because I would have picked the Eagles, I would have picked the Chiefs, but you talked me into picking otherwise. I'm never following your lead again. You're a
Hey,
dick.
that's called mind games, buddy, and you
You're
fell
a
for it.
dick. You're a dick.
But let's move on. And this week we're doing a thing a little differently, Casino. We're picking the marquee, the mid, and the miserable games.
Ooh, fun
So
game, fun game.
first up, let's talk about the marquee matchups. And marquee matchups means you could advertise this on one of those big marquee signs and it would fill the theater because these are the must watch games of the week. Now, it does not mean they're going to be good games. It just means on paper before they play, these are the games that you're like, ooh, I want to watch that one. I want to watch that one. Right. So the first game is actually Thursday night's game, Casino. And I'm going to do this every week. So let's bring in what I did this week, Casino. I did celebrities that are born in the places we're talking about. And then it eventually turned into hot celebrities that are born in the place. It didn't start,
Is Hillary Swank one of them?
it does not start there, but it gets there. So let's first go Casino two.
Ah.
The two hottest celebrities I know. And that is Rob Gronkowski, born in Buffalo, New York, versus William H. Macy, born in Miami, Florida, Casino.
Ah.
So when it comes to Bills at Dolphins, who you got?
Who? And this is not because it's just a Rob Gronkowski thing. I'm gonna say Bills for two reasons. One, I picked the Bills to win that division to be better than the Dolphins. Um, Three reasons, I guess. And reason number two would be I loved what Josh Allen was. He looked so good. He looked so good. He looked like Josh Allen of old because he knows that he doesn't have a whole bunch of weapons left up there. And he looked really good in that game. Like just him, like personally him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he looked great. And for the Dolphins, they squeaked by because Trevor Lawrence and an 80-yard bomb and a mistake at the
Or,
goal line. Like,
or Tua, you mean? Tua had an 80-yard bomb.
well, I mean, Tyreek, or did I say, who did I say? Allen?
You said Lawrence.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. So, yeah, thank you. Tua to Tyreek had an 80-yard bomb. Like, it was literally two plays. They lucked out. That was my upset of the week that I came very close to calling. Um, I I think they don't squeak by against Buffalo. I just don't.
I
I think it's going to be another tight kind of game, but I think what I saw from Josh Allen and his grit to be like, I'm still Josh motherfucking Allen, and then seeing the Dolphins squeak by against the Jags at home, I have to go Bills.
See, I'm right there with you. Last year, when you look at the Bills and Dolphins, the one game was 7 points, and then there was that one game that was just, if I remember correctly, yes, it was the Bills blew out the Dolphins last year, 48-20 in Buffalo. So
Wasn't
this
that
one,
I think that was at your son's party or something? We watched I think we watched a game, or was that a playoff game? I don't remember.
One
Anyway,
of them, but
continue.
yeah. So last year in Buffalo, the Bills blew the doors off the Dolphins. In Miami, it was close, but still the Bills did win. Uh, I pretty much agree with everything you said. I was impressed more with
Shocker.
I was impressed more with the Dolphins defense than I thought I would be, and I don't even think they really played that good. I just think that it kind of looks like a unit that as it gets more reps during the season will actually be better than.
We'll gain some traction. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, and with the Bills, I mean, their offense surprised a lot of people, but it was
It
also
did.
kind of just Josh Allen taking
Exactly.
over the game.
He looked great.
So, yeah, and besides that, like I don't know what else. I still don't know what else the Bills have on offense outside of Josh Allen.
I don't care. Like if Josh Allen just comes out and just beast modes it, and he's just like, I'm fucking Josh Allen. Suck it up, Buttercup. Like I'm all for it. I mean, I and they beat the Cardinals, right? Okay. A lot of people aren't too high on the Cardinals. I know you are, but like they still put up 34 points against the Cardinals. Um, yes, it's a little weary that Cardinals put up 28 on them. You know, the Bills defense. We'll see how that works on out. Uh, but I'm still impressed with how Josh Allen played, and I think that they'll get it done.
Yeah, but also when you're watching that Bills Cardinals game and then you look at the stat sheet afterwards, you're kind of almost like you're almost surprised that the Cardinals put up 28 points because I mean Kyler in that game had less than he had 162
Two
yards.
yards, yeah.
He had 57 on the ground. Nobody in the receiving group on the Cardinals had over 50 yards. So it's not like the Bills defense got exposed or like carved up. It was just one of those games that, you know, they got good field
Ooh,
position.
excuse me.
They didn't have to
Sorry, I'm
uh
drinking a protein shake here. It just worked out. High fiber, high protein.
But yeah, so the Cardinals only gained 270 total yards in that game. They were averaging about 4 yards a play. So it's not, again, the Bills defense didn't look bad, and the Cardinals offense looked better than I thought they would, and they didn't even really look that great. So I think that game's kind of going to be an outlier when you look at it down the road. I'm picking the Bills as well, Casino. It does scare me that it's in Miami because it's going to be hot
That's
as
true.
shit.
That's true.
And weird stuff happens when it's really hot, it's really humid,
Well,
and
we know anybody that plays in down in Florida has trouble. You know,
yeah.
unless you play down there consistently and your body's used to the humidity.
Well, and there's the weird thing, which is like clearly an advantage where it is the Miami bench is in the shade and the opposing team's bench is always not in the shade. So they're
That's so
playing. It's petty, but I love it. So it's
it's so
literally
great.
going to be 1 p.m. In the middle of like kind of towards the end of the summer in Miami. The humidity is going to be
Hey,
bad.
the advantages of playing at home, man.
Yeah, that's true. But I do think Bills squeak one out. I do think this is much closer to 21-14 than it is just a blowout on either side.
I agree.
Uh, but next up, Casino. I actually want to know if this is a marquee matchup in your mind. Rams Cardinals.
No, I wasn't going to put that up there. This would be a mid for me.
See, I thought based on what we saw from the Rams, they're obviously one of I think going to be one of the playoff teams coming out of the NFC. Cardinals, I picked the upset last year. I think they're going to be a I think
Sorry.
they're
So for those who are just listening, oh, these pictures are great. You need to really check out the YouTube ones just for the photos.
So that is representing the Rams, born in Los Angeles. We have John Goodman from, of course, one of the best movies ever made, Raising Arizona, where he's also super attractive in
That I
that
mean,
movie.
and that photo doesn't look like John Goodman with that angle. Like I don't know, it just doesn't. The curly.
And then we have, born in Arizona, Emma Stone, a favorite of this podcast, Casino. My wife kind of looks like Emma Stone. Kind of very similar redhead face.
That's funny. My ex looks like Emma Stone.
That is true. So that's why I said we're a fan of her on the podcast. But you would not put this in marquee. I would put this in marquee just because the game we saw the Cardinals play, we just talked about, and then the
And,
Rams, I
and
think
I
are
agree. I liked, but I want to see more of them. I still don't trust either of those teams to do a long run, but I was impressed. They will make a mid for me.
yeah. So marquee mid doesn't matter who you picking in this game, Casino.
Uh, I'm gonna go Rams. I did like what I saw in Stafford.
Yeah, I do think when it comes to this game specifically, I think what we saw from the Rams was, obviously their offensive line is a big question mark. Now I don't think the Cardinals have near as good pass rush or defense as the Lions do, so they will get a little bit of leeway there. But then when you think about the Rams defense and how it struggled against the Lions offense. Now, again, everybody's going to struggle against the Lions offense because it's going to finish the year as a top 3, minimum top 5 offense in the league. But also, Kyler Murray is such an X factor in these games. It's like when you play against Lamar Jackson, when you played against Justin Fields last year, where it's like, even if their team isn't good or their team isn't great, which last year Justin Fields' team wasn't good. Lamar Jackson's team is always great, but that's mostly due to him. But then when you think of what is it? When you're playing against the Cardinals, even if they're not good, you always have to worry about Kyler Murray and just what he can bring to the game,
Right,
right?
what he can bring to the game and the table when he's healthy and not being a complete douche.
Yeah. So if this does become a shootout, now no Puka Nakua in this
If it
game.
come, if it, I don't care if it becomes a shootout. I like what I saw from Cup. I'm going Rams.
I am also going Rams. Almost my upset pick of the week. I was going to do 2 weeks in a row of the Cardinals, but I decided against it. And then I also thought if we are going to, what is it? If we're going to do the is Cooper Cup like the discussion of is he the best wide receiver in the league and all this kind of stuff? These are games I feel like where he can just single handedly win them, right? Where it's like going against a bad team. The defense and secondary of the Cardinals is a giant question mark. So this is clearly to me, Rams win, and it's like you
And
look
and
at
I love
Cooper
how you're
Cup.
saying that you're gonna try to call this an upset. It's a -1, dude. It's a damn near pick 'em.
Well, that's why I didn't pick him. I didn't call him an upset. But I do think this is one of those games where when you look at the stat sheet, it's like Cooper Cup has 14 catches for 185 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like this feels like the kind of game for me. And then also already you have Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray appearing to just throw barbs at each other in interviews and stuff like
Well, I
that.
mean, did
So
you
that's
see how
great.
wide open Junior was? Like, dude, Marvin Harrison Jr. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, he was so open so many times, dude. He was just wide open, and he just did not get the ball.
Yeah. And then apparently, and I don't know, again, I won't say if this was real. I think it is, but I don't know. Where I saw a quote from Kyler Murray being like, it's not my job to get him the ball. It's my job to like win games or whatever, which I don't know if I mean, I agree, but I don't know if
Yeah,
you say it that way.
but he's gonna be your best receiver.
uh, and kind of your only wide receiver.
Yeah,
And so I don't know. But we're both picking the Rams on that one.
yeah.
Next up, Casino. Uh, this one I immediately regretted putting in marquee, but I think just from the names involved, I think I can make a case for it being a marquee game. And that is Bears and Texans.
Oh, see, I was gonna, but this is a mid. This is a mid to me.
Mid. And this is, of course, Raquel Welch, famous actress, one of the hottest women maybe in history, born in Chicago versus Jennifer Gardner, born in Houston. So we, again, this kind of, it gets much more hot chick versus hot chick than celebrity versus celebrity casino. But
I love it.
so This I would think this is mid, but again, I think just with how much publicity this Bears team has got before the season, I think at least until we know what they are, their first month of games are going to kind of be like you want to watch them just to see what they are.
Okay, well, this is going to be a big game. I need to like if Caleb Williams is going to get okay, like, hey, it was his first game last week in the NFL. If he's going to get any bit of saving grace, it has to be coming back in this game. I wouldn't even expect them to win against the Texans. I don't expect them to win against the Texans. I'm picking the Texans. They're at home. I like the Texans so much better than the Bears. The Texans are on ESPN. Let's see here. They're -6. I I'm going Texans. I want to see what the Bears can do. I want to see what Caleb Williams can do because he didn't show me jack shit last week. He didn't show up to play in his first NFL game. I don't expect him to win, but he's got to show me more. I mean,
So
Houston's going to put up points. Houston to me is going to put up honestly probably 30 points. That's roughly what I'm thinking. I need to see the Bears put up at least in the high teens, 20s.
now this might end up costing me Casino, but it could also end up giving me 2 points. I'm picking this as my upset of the week. Now here's why.
Ugh.
Let me make the case for you. So last week we saw the Texans play they played the Colts. It was 29-27. I don't think anybody thought the Texans played as well as we thought they would. Now, Stroud did play good. He was 24 for 32, 234, 2 touchdowns. Joe Mixon ran for 160 yards and 1 touchdown, but their defense was questionable. Some of those Anthony Richardson throws, yes, they were amazing, but it was also like the ball was in the air for 10 minutes and it's still like double coveraged, and the Colts guy came down with it with ease most times. So we have going into the season all the hype for these two teams. After 1 week, it's like we even said it here. The Bears are done. They're a dumpster fire. They won't be any good this season, blah, blah, blah. And then the Texans, it's like, oh, the Texans are exactly what we thought they were. All the hype. They're going to the Super Bowl, blah, 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 blah. So this to me has all the perfect fixins of a what is it? Of a upset pick because it's one team's getting shit on nonstop, one team's getting hyped up so much, and then there's no way Caleb Williams plays a worse game this week and throws less than 100 yards. So if this, and again, he's heard all week like how what a shit job he did, like like the defense and stuff won it. So as a competitive guy, as the number one overall pick, how do you not go out and just be like, I'm throwing for 300, 3 touchdowns, and I'm beating the Texans? Right now, do I think they'll win? Probably not. But
Probably not.
it's got the fixins Casino, and all I need is the fixins for
Man,
a
are you just ready for Thanksgiving or something? Shit.
I've never really been a fan of Thanksgiving. Never been I don't really like Thanksgiving food, which is kind of the issue. Well,
Okay.
I mean, it's the major issue. Yeah, but I I don't know. And we always had really good food when I was growing up, and then it was like made by my Italian grandpa, so it was always like pasta and really good stuff, and then we get to Thanksgiving and it was kind of just like all shit that wasn't Italian, and then I would just be like, like
That's fair.
I hate stuffing. I don't like cranberry. I don't really like mashed potatoes. So it's literally like everything on a Thanksgiving table is not my thing. But next up, Casino. I saved now this was also made before the Jordan Love news. So I think we can actually switch this one to mid just based on no Jordan Love playing in this game. So, you know what?
Yep.
We're gonna hold off on that one, Casino, and instead we're gonna go the Bucks at the Lions. Now you have to agree with me on this one. This is a marquee matchup.
I agree. I'm excited for this game. I am. I I marquee all day. This was definitely a marquee game for me. Um, Actually, probably the only other marquee game for me. All the rest can be mids. I'm excited for. I'm excited for this game. With what Baker did last week, I'm very excited what the Lions did last week, where they buckle down and they're like, hey, we're a Super Bowl contending team. That we're gonna win this game. I'm excited for this. I think it's gonna be a lot closer than what most people think. I honestly don't agree with this spread. The spread is 7.5 for the Lions. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm thinking this is closer to like a 4 point spread, something like that. A 3.5 maybe. Like I like Tampa. I thought what they did was really good. Yes, the Lions this might have a lot to do with how the Rams played against the Lions, and the Lions barely squeaked it out. But the Rams played much better than I thought they would play, and then probably most people thought they would play, especially with Aaron Donald gone. So I feel like this line is a little skewed here, man. I really don't understand why this is not like a 3.5.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this. I think this is going to be a high scoring affair. It's going to be another shootout. Can't wait. Can't wait.
I would agree. I think Bills, Dolphins,
This
Bucks,
will be my
Lions.
main game that I'll be watching on Sunday morning.
Yes. I think Bills, Dolphins, Bucks, Lions. I think those are the two main marquee games that you don't even have to make a case for. Like, these are the ones that you like look at these on the schedule, especially based on last week, and you're like, yeah, I want to see them. And of course, we have Bert Kreischer, born in Tampa Casino, and then Tim Allen, apparently born in Detroit, but there
The
was also
machine.
but there was also reports he was born in Denver, because when I was looking up Denver celebrities, he also popped up. So
Well, here's
I
the
don't know.
thing. I love Denver. I love Colorado so much. If I wasn't living here in Vegas, I would be living in Colorado. But their teams suck.
But when it comes to this game, I want to say that the Bucks hype train keeps going. And again, the Lions played a game last week that, again, while very good, they could have also easily lost that game, and then it would have kind of been like panic mode in Detroit.
I agree.
But again, they pulled it out. They showed they had that thing that it takes where really good teams like the Chiefs, like the Ravens, where they just always seem to pull it out at the end,
Sorry,
regardless of how
I made my protein shake a little too thick today. It's a little tough to get down.
But I agree with you, Casino. I think this will be Lions, but I think this is going to be a much closer, like Rams Lions type of game than all of a sudden the Lions just go. I mean, it is in Detroit, so I don't see the Bucks going in there and just wiping the doors off or blowing the doors off them. But I do see it being a close back and forth. This to me seems like one of those games that's going to be like Bills Cardinals was last week, where it's like, maybe the stats don't blow you away, but then you're just like, oh, I mean, the Bucks put up 28 points on them. Like the Lions just put up 38. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of
Yeah,
those things.
it's going to be a shootout.
Now, Casino, let's move to our mid matchups. And that is exactly what it sounds like. These aren't marquee games. They're not bad
Yeah.
games.
So
They're
just to
just
note, like
kind
those,
of,
I had two. Just to recap, I only had two marquee games. It would have been three, but it was Buffalo and Miami, one marquee. Then the next one was the one we just talked about, Bucks and Lions. And it sounds like you're going to put it up on the screen. Just put it up. Put it up. Yep.
Colts and Packers.
This would have been if Jordan Love was healthy, because I was very impressed with Anthony Richards' arm and how he played and composed himself coming back from injury. I'm still not going to say the Colts are a good team, but I was very intrigued and very happy to watch him play. So I was hoping that this would have been a really good one.
Yeah, and I do, and it's Anthony Richardson Casino. You forgot the son. But it's Anthony Richardson. But yeah, this was going to definitely be a marquee matchup if Jordan Love was playing. Two of like the best young quarterbacks, just not even in terms of skill, just in terms of like watching them play and wanting to watch them play. It would obviously be between those two. But then the sad news of Jordan Love missing a month, especially like he got knocked out so late in that game. I think he only missed like one or two plays in that game because the game was over. So now I don't even know who will be the quarterback of the Packers. I haven't looked it up. I should probably have done that before the thing started, but it looks, I am assuming it'll be Malik Willis. Let's see. Yes, so it will be Malik Willis. There's also Jacob Easton, and then obviously there's a bunch of free agents that they could potentially bring in or could have potentially brought in, but it'll be Malik Willis, who in his one play last week didn't even get a Hail Mary off, just got sacked, which again, not his fault. It's hard to come in at the end of the game when the game's basically over and then just be like, okay, now just throw a Hail Mary. Like no warm-ups, no nothing. So I don't even put that on him. But I do really like the Packers defense. Now, again, I when it comes to the Eagles Packers game last week, I already said you can't really take anything away from that game because they were playing on a damn slip and slide.
Sorry,
So
I'm back. William Defoe, I love him.
oh, I haven't even said the celebrities. It's David Letterman, obviously maybe the most famous Indianapolis Colts
Probably the
born
only
and Colts
person
fan.
from
Yeah. And then William Defoe, which I just found out today, was born in Wisconsin. Was it Green Bay, Wisconsin? I don't know because I just searched Wisconsin. But uh, also, two of our hottest celebrities, Casino, David Letterman and William Defoe. You've always said these are your one and two, right?
all day.
On your hall pass list.
Dude, I mean, William Defoe.
I also great actor, and David Letterman, probably my third favorite talk show host of all time. Maybe no, third. Conan, obviously number one. Johnny Carson, number two. David Letterman and Dick Cavett, just right there for anybody who cared. I know everybody did. But Casino and I'm assuming Casino is also picking the Colts. Again, this would have been a much better game.
Yeah,
Not
I'm gonna pick the Colts because of just the injury.
Yeah, and also we've seen Malik Willis play in Tennessee before and didn't really blow me away. So, next up, Casino. Now, I am curious if you think this is a miserable matchup or a mid matchup, and that is 49ers at the Vikings. So, I'm just putting this here because you know how I am the number one Viking supporter this year, Casino. And
Yep.
but do you think this will be a miserable game because it'll just be a 49ers blowout?
It's gonna be a 49ers blowout. This is, I mean, I don't no, this is not my blowout of the week. This is not my blowout of the week. But it is gonna be a miserable game. I will probably not watch any of this. Um, the Niners look so good. They have so many weapons. I mean, look what they did last week with a lot of like seventh round draft picks and sixth round draft picks and undrafted free agents and all that bullshit. They did so good. This Niners team is I really think it's Chiefs and Niners at the top right now. I need to see more from the Lions. I need to see more. Lions need their defense needs to be tightened up. The Ravens, they need to still figure some shit out. But I don't see a flaw with the Niners right now. And I think the Niners are just going to womp on the Vikings, man. Just womp
Yeah.
on them.
And then of course we have Bruce Lee, born in San Francisco,
Oh, gosh, what a man.
Josh Hartnett, born in Minnesota. One of my favorite actors. He's so underrated. Everybody go see Trap. He's so good in that movie, even though that movie is actually pretty good, but it's all over the place. But when we talk about 49ers and Vikings, Casino, I think Vikings, now they did blow out the Giants last week, but I think everybody's going to blow out. We could confidently pick a team to blow out either the Giants or Panthers and probably be right every week, right? Or every week of the season. So
Yes.
I do think that Sam Darnold, there's the revenge element where he
No.
can maybe get revenge on the
No.
49ers, but
No.
it's not going to happen.
No.
It's going to be 49ers all day. I do maybe think this game will be closer than it should be, but the real discussion I wanted to have here, Casino, was do you think the 49ers should be punished for not disclosing that they told their backup running back as early as Friday that Christian McCaffrey was not playing on Monday night's game?
I mean, who cares?
Well, a lot of betters, a lot of fantasy football people. It's
Well,
like
I'm not playing fantasy this year, so who fucking cares?
I do think, I mean, but again, this is one of those things where like the most they'll be punished is with a fine, and it's like who like again, if you want to like fining people is dumb. So yeah,
It's
they
fine
will.
finding these athletes who make billions and millions and millions and billions of dollars, whether, like, it means nothing to them.
Well, in this one, it wouldn't even be the people, it would be the team. So
Right, and
the
the team just
team's
has so
gonna
much
shell
money.
out, yeah, like 0.001% of the revenue they made from that game. Like, who cares? Fining people doesn't mean anything, especially when you're fining billionaires like a couple $1,000s. That'd be like fining us like a nickel. And we'd be like, yeah, we'll pay a nickel. Who cares?
Nah,
Uh,
they even have
but
a fucking nickel, though.
I put this one up here just for you, Casino. Seahawks at Patriots. Who you got?
I'm going Patriots.
Is the Patriots
No,
resurgence?
no, I will tell you, here's my reasoning why I'm going Patriots over the Seahawks. I liked the game plan and the situational football that I saw from the Patriots. I really liked how they were coached. I mean, this was a big question mark going in. I've talked about their defense still being good, with even with Matthew Judon gone. Um, it was their offense that's going to be one of the worst in the league. Their offense didn't do too bad. I was quite surprised. I thought the Bengals would have more of a fight. So to me, that was a big win because I still think the Bengals are going to be okay. I know you don't, but the Seahawks, I can't see them being any better than the Bengals. And the Bengals have a better quarterback than the Seahawks. And I really liked how the defensive scheme that the Patriots put together to corral, to corral, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name now. Their quarterback, Bengals.
Joe Burrow.
Thank you, Joe Burrow. I was having a mind blank there. Um, how they contain Joe Burrow, I think they're going to easily be able to do that with Geno Smith, Sam Howell, whoever they throw in there this week. Like, I have trouble seeing them doing that. This is my upset pick of the week. This is my upset pick of the.
Ooh.
It's in New England. First off, so you're going into New England, right? They just had an upset win, their coach's first win, as a head coach. This is outstanding. I think this team's going to be fired up. I think the fans are going to be fired up. The chance to go 2-0 to start a season where they are expected to be one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the league. That's a long travel for Seattle as well. I like the Patriots. I like it. I want
This
to see.
is
I want to see what they can do. Yes, your brother is up. I'm coming. Thank you for opening the door and going in there and bothering him.
this will be one of the only two games we picked differently, Casino, and that is because I'm going with the Seahawks.
That's fine.
And no, but I agree. I do think Patriots defense looks like a top 5 defense in
And
this
they would have
league.
been so much better if Judon stayed. Oh,
And we'll get to the Bengals talk in a second
so
because
justify. I want to justify you to justify to me why you think Seahawks can beat the Patriots on the road after what you saw last week. I'm just curious. I'm not super high on the Patriots. Just throwing that out there right now. I'm not like Patriots are off into they're going to make a wild card. I'm not saying that. But I was impressed with how they handled the Bengals situational football, and against the Seahawks, I think they can do that again, especially being at home with being hyped after that big win.
yeah, no, I agree that this isn't going to be like a
And the
blowout. I think
Seahawks
it's going to
barely beat
be
the Broncos.
I agree, yes, but I also think the Seahawks right now are a better team than the Bengals because I don't know if you recall, Casino. One of my hot takes was that the Bengals are going to be a so. Also, we might as well just talk about it now, and we'll talk about it more when we get to the
Which,
Bengals.
by the way, Mark, I mean, all the respect to Hendricks. All the respect to Hendricks. He's great. And thank you, by the way, for actually getting a picture of Hendricks using the lefty guitar because that he was a lefty. A lot of paintings and portraits and just me being a little history nerd about some music. A lot of paintings, portraits, and things like that, they always have Hendrix playing righty.
Hmm.
He was not a righty. He was a left-handed guitar. He played everything backwards.
Yeah.
So
That's yeah.
I
But
I
also
love
for
Hendrix is awesome, but Marky Mark, look at that man. Look at that man. Oh, woo,
for
woo,
the people just
woo.
listening, I use Jimi Hendrix and Mark Wahlberg, two of the hottest people from both Seattle and from New England.
Easily,
But
easily. My
but
older brother has actually met and sat down and talked to Marky Mark.
yeah, he's
Here,
gonna
here.
maybe be opening a movie studio out here, which would be cool.
Oh, nice.
But well, in Vegas, yeah.
There he was trying to promote his tequila here in town, and my brother had a sit down conversation with them, and that was pretty cool because a lot of people think my brother looks like Mark Wahlberg. He says it, and I actually agree. He kind of does look like Mark Wahlberg. So, uh, uh,
Eh.
when I show you the photo, I think I've sent you the photo of those two side by side. You're like, okay,
I could, yeah. I'm not saying no. I could see
I'll
it.
find you
I
that
could
photo
see
and
it.
resend it to you. Yes, honey, I will come get Colby right now. I'm coming.
But when it comes to the Bengals casino and Joe Burrow, did you see the video where he was on the sidelines and he could barely pick up a bottle of Gatorade? So there is something
He,
wrong with
he,
Joe
he,
Burrow.
he just had to move his wrist around a little bit. That's People are deep diving into that.
So yeah, I wonder why. But yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I think the Seahawks could beat the Patriots this week because Joe Burrow again had a not a bad game, almost a mid, like he just had a mid game, right? And he had that game because I still think he's injured. I still think he's having trouble, especially with his throwing hand, apparently, or just with either of his hands or both. Who knows? But it looks like he's still in some pain. It looks like he's still recovering. It looks like he maybe should have sat out longer. But again, the Bengals are doing what they did last year, which is just kind of making him go in the games and risking potentially their future for the right now. So I do think the case of why the Seahawks will beat this Patriots team is again, week one is weird. We saw weird outcomes. We saw players playing probably not as good as they normally do, but that's because now no starters get any reps in the preseason. So week one is now basically the first time they're stepping on a football field in pads against a team, especially when it's the quarterbacks, a team that's actually allowed to hit them. So I do think the Seahawks are supposed to be better than I thought they were this year. I do think last week was again an anomaly, but they played decently against a Broncos team that everybody thinks is going to be way better than I think they're going to be. So, yeah, it's just one of those things where maybe the Patriots played the perfect game to win last week, and then the Seahawks kind of played a messy game and won anyways. So who's to say that the Patriots play their best game again and the Seahawks play as bad as they did last week? I just think the Seahawks are a better team. I do think that the Seahawks also have better weapons right now than the Bengals do. I think they actually have a legit running game. I think they have two good wide receivers on good terms with their team and not just Jamar Chase getting out of the jacuzzi to come play this game when it was like leading up to that game. It was like, is he even going to play? What's happening? So I do think, again, the Seahawks better weapons, better team just overall than the Bengals right now at this moment. And they're going into New England to play against a team that, again, has been overhyped all week as if this is the Brady Belichick Patriots casino. It's not. It's,
I know.
yeah. So that's why I'm picking them.
That's fair. I didn't hear any of that, but that's fair. Because this makes I'm sure you made some good points about it.
Let's move up to a game I almost moved to marquee, but I still do not know what the Saints are. And again, they played the Panthers, so much like the Vikings, are they even good? And that is, of course, Saints Cowboys casino. And we have to wonder, are the Saints as good as they looked last week?
No.
Are the Cowboys just what they are every year, which is great regular season team, bad
Yep.
postseason team?
100%. I mean,
And
100%. Finally, I mean, we didn't talk about it, but finally, Dak got his extension. Good for him.
yeah,
But it was right before the game. that it happened. Oh, nice. Nice.
And the two celebrities, Reese Witherspoon, born in New Orleans, Owen Wilson, wow, born
Wow.
in
Wow.
Dallas, wow.
Wow.
Uh, Also, the reason why we did not name my 3-year-old Owen was because him and I share the same last name, Casino, and that was we didn't want my son's name to just be Owen Wilson. Right? Even
That's
though
funny.
I do love that name and I do love Owen Wilson, but it felt like too creepy of a tribute.
Oh, yeah, it would have been. Definitely.
But yeah, so when it comes to
Oh,
this game,
speaking of our
Casino.
kids, my son's birthday's today. He's
Oh,
1.
dang.
Yeah.
Happy 1-year-old, but 1 doesn't count. He doesn't know what's going on.
No, he doesn't. That's why on Saturday, it's literally my family coming over. We got cheesecake because that's what we like, and we got him a couple balloons that he's gonna pop and scare himself with, and call it a day.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, and we got him some toys that pretty much are gonna be for my daughter.
uh, but when it comes to the Saints or Cowboys, Casino, we both agree Saints aren't as good as they looked last week. Cowboys are pretty much just what we expected them to be, especially playing against a bad Browns team. Uh, is there? How do the Saints win this game? Is there upset potential for this game?
I don't think there's gonna be upset. It's in Dallas. I just can't see it because I don't think the Saints, even though what they did last week, I just can't see the Saints being a good team. I mean, yes, they almost put up 50 points, but they did against the Panthers, you know. So that's I can't justify it. Hey, if they go into Dallas and they rock Dallas and they punch them on the chin, then then we have to reassess what the Saints are.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I think Dallas. We know what Dallas does against bad teams. They beat up on them, especially at home. I mean, look at their home record last year. Says it all.
yeah, and it's
So
also one of those things where like how good do we legitimately think the Browns and Jets are going to be? So when we try to hype up the 49ers and the Cowboys, it's kind of like, are they just playing bad teams week 1, and then it's kind of like they're going to get, you know, we're going to see what they actually are. You could make the same case for the Saints and Vikings playing the 2 worst teams in the league. So it's kind of hard to make sweeping judgments about either of these teams being good or bad. My own Emma Stone is bringing me lunch. Thanks, babe. You're not on camera. But
Garcon, Garcon. Oh wait, no, my wife's not here. I just got 2 children yelling at me always.
well, they can bring you lunch. But
I'm surprised my youngest here hasn't screamed bloody murder for some food right now. He just woke up from a nap.
all the listeners of this show are also surprised by that. Here we go.
You hear the screaming in the background? That's just my daughter. That's per usual.
Now, Casino, this is mid just based on
You know what?
pure.
One of these days, I'm just gonna drop my kids off at your house, and then let you try to do the podcast with my kids.
I also have 2 kids. I mean, they're
Yeah,
not
okay,
here
but I
right
would
now.
love for your oldest son to watch your youngest son. Dear Lord, would that just be the greatest thing ever? Hey, go in a room, play with some toys. Plus, you got an upstairs and a downstairs. I have one story. I can't get away. I can't use a gate to lock him downstairs.
Just lock them both in their room. You do the podcast from your car. It'll be great. It'll be great. But this game, Casino, is mid just based on what we've seen in the past from these 2 teams. I think this might be my pick for blowout of the week. It's Bengals at Chiefs because, of course, every hard game the Chiefs have to be given at home. Like, no, like every hard game on paper, they just get to play at home, no questions asked. So who we thinking in this game, Casino? I think it was no. I have one other game that's going to be my
I mean,
blowout of the week.
I was going to choose Chiefs regardless,
Yeah,
even if the Bengals smoked the Patriots last week.
2 of our hottest celebrities, Don Cheadle, born in Kansas City, and Steven Spielberg, born in Cincinnati. Casino. I didn't know he was born in Cincinnati, but Also, William H. Macy, and then we have Don Cheadle. This is a very Boogie Nights friendly podcast, which is one of the best movies ever made. So that makes sense. But yeah, I think this game, again, on paper, beginning of the season, when the Bengals were projected as a 9.5 win team, this is what everybody wanted to see. Burrow going into the Chiefs, into Kansas City, being basically their only rival who Mahomes doesn't have a winning record against is the Bengals, and that's because of
I
Joe
mean that.
Burrow.
Yeah, this will be interesting.
But again, he can't hold a Gatorade bottle. He can't pick up a Gatorade bottle. This Bengals defense is a mess. They have no running back. Jamar Chase is just mad all the time. Like, I don't know what, like, this is not the Bengals that went to the Super Bowl. This is the Bengals of 2024 where everybody's
Well, I
injury.
was told that he was healthy. Okay,
Yeah.
I was told he was healthy.
Yeah. And apparently, shocker, that was a lie because he is not healthy.
Okay, so how can that be on me, man? How can that be on me? I was told he was healthy.
I know everybody was, and it fooled the world except one brave man who stood out from the from the group. But this is going to be my blowout of the week, Casino. I am picking Chiefs, and I think they just annihilate the Bengals. They especially the one team they hate legitimately, and you've heard their players and Kelsey and Mahomes and Reed like either mention it directly or kind of like side
Well, yeah,
in a
because
little
they've had their
side
number.
comment. Yeah, they legitimately hate the Bengals, and I think this is one of the games they had circles that they're just going to make a statement. This is, to me, this seems like a worthy Mahomes Kelsey game where they just unload. Like, I think this is going to be my blowout of the week. Blowout of the week, Casino.
All right.
Let's move on next to Monday Night Football, Casino.
Wait, did we skip the Ravens game?
The Ravens, I put in. Did we skip the Ravens? Who are the Ravens playing?
The Raiders?
Oh, no. I have that in miserable.
Okay.
This is mid, Casino. We're still
Okay.
in mid.
My bad. God damn.
And when it comes to the Eagles and Falcons,
I just
Casino.
came.
Chloe Grace Moretz, I believe is how you say her name, born in Atlanta. Tina Fey, born in
Tina Fey,
Philadelphia.
man.
I also am a Tina Fey.
I'm a Tina
train.
Fey fan.
Yeah.
Whew.
Both, again, at a certain point, this just skewed to what it was going to be. But
Dude, Tina Fey, she's always had it. She's always got it for me. Oh, she is definitely in my top 5 sexiest celebrities. Like, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, I agree. Also, for some reason, that's a divisive thing. I've told people like Tina Fey is top tier, and I've gotten pushback on that, Casino. So I'm glad we share. I'm glad we share this. But who we got in this game, Casino? Monday night, Kirk Cousins going into Philadelphia again. I feel like now it's just Kirk Cousins versus the Eagles week 2 Monday night. This is like the 3rd year in a row that's happened.
Yeah.
So
I'm sad to see Cousins, but I like the Eagles. I thought the Eagles played very well. They've got weapons. I really like their almost their entire team in every facet. And you're right. I could really see the Eagles going straight back to the Super Bowl. They look good. I'm going Eagles. I mean, yeah, we're not going to kid ourselves here.
Well, I am picking the Falcons, Casino, but clearly that's only because of reverse jinx. Until the Eagles lose.
I was gonna say Philly's 6.5 at home, man. Like,
no, I expect this to be an Eagles victory. And Kirk Cousins, for some reason, had the Eagles number only when he was on the Commanders. Ever since when he was in Minnesota, they had his number. When he comes to the Falcons, especially from what we saw last week, I don't expect him to beat this Eagles team. I still expect that Falcons team to be good, but not as good as what we potentially can see this Eagles team being. So yeah, I'm picking the Falcons, but that's only for reverse jinx for my Eagles. I do think Kirk Cousins in primetime is a real thing. He kind of started to shed that a little last year and then immediately got injured. So the curse of The curse of primetime cousins. They were like, you cannot escape us. So what we saw last week, again, he looks all these injured quarterbacks returning from injuries, not looking good week one. Who could have seen that coming?
It's not
But
like, somebody's talked about that. You've got to prove it.
let's go,
Miserable
Casino.
matchups. Here we go.
And we have just the rest of the games here to get to. And again, these are miserable because who's going to be watching these unless you're fans of these teams? And I think it's going to be either blowouts on each sides or just bad games. Let's go first with Giants and Commanders. I mean, how do the Commanders just not win this game hand over fist, Casino? You're on mute.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to not have my kids scream. Well, here's the thing: Commanders are only only 1.5 point favorites. I they've got. God damn it! I went away from the broadcast for a second there, and I came back. I love it. Great pictures. But yeah, that stumbled me. But I'm having the Commanders. It's only 1.5 for the Commanders. I think they're going to have a better bounce back game. Again, I liked what I saw last week with Daniels. It was his first game, but he protected the ball. I think he's going to have a much better game, and I think he's going to really showcase what he can do this week. And they're playing against Tampa, who, we've talked about. They're looking good. We expect them to be
probably
good.
going to be a playoff team. Yeah.
I mean, I had them as at least a wild card. I had the Falcons, and I still am going to pick the Falcons to win that division. But I do have Tampa coming in hot. But like I said, Jaden Daniels, he didn't have a bad week last week. He was almost 200 yards. He protected the football. Yes, or Jaden Daniels. He did have 2 rushing touchdowns. I like it. I think he's going to womp, and I think a -1.5 is a little low, especially against the Giants, and especially being at home.
Yeah. So, and for the celebrities, we have Paul Rudd, born in New Jersey, because the New York Giants play in New Jersey. They don't play in New York. And then we have the Anna Faris, born in Washington, Casino. So, yowza.
Every time I know she's done many. I know she's done so many roles, but the only role that I can think, the only role that comes to mind instantly is Just Friends.
Yes,
I love her in that. Yes. It's either that or House Bunny, but that was one of the worst movies of all time. Statistically, one of the worst movies of all time. But man, she's so good. When she changes her voice and just gets angry, it's great.
And I'm sorry, she was actually not born in Washington. She was born in Maryland, because that's also where the Commanders play. So this is a 2 teams in the NFC East who play not where their name says they are. So yeah, so this is Maryland versus New Jersey, Giants versus Commanders. And I don't see how any sane person could pick the Giants in literally any game this season, unless they play
the Panthers.
I think they do. And still, even then, it's like you can make a case for Panthers or Giants. It's not like they have nobody.
I mean, me saying the Patriots are going to be the worst team in the league. I mean, I have them going 2-0. Let's go. That's all day.
But yeah, this is no contest. It's Commanders. But
the Pats are going to be the Giants of the past couple of years, where it's like, what? How do they almost make the playoffs?
But then when it comes down to who's more attractive, Paul Rudd or Anna Faris, I mean, this is a toss-up. Both of them are very attractive.
I mean, I would toss both of them.
Next up, Casino, we have Chargers at Panthers. This is going to be an ugly game. This is
my blowout of the week.
Ooh, okay.
I think the Panthers are going to get smacked in the chin with that running game. I think they're just going to get rocked.
Also, kind of a cop out when it comes to blowout of the week.
How's that a cop out?
Because I just said you can pick who's ever playing the Giants or the Panthers every week for.
Okay, then I won't pick this one. I'll pick Ravens Raiders.
Oh, okay. And that's probably I just screwed myself, because that one is definitely going to be a blowout. But when it comes to Chargers Panthers, I'm trying to find my slide for who I picked. Oh, this is a good one, Casino. Chargers Panthers. We have Julianne Moore, being born from North Carolina, and Kate Hudson being born in Los Angeles. So top tier casino, top tier.
Oh,
But
sorry. Oh, yeah. Both of them are good, but I would go with Kate Hudson all day. I mean, if you watch Fool's Gold, you'll get it. You'll
again,
get
the
it.
third person on this list from Boogie Nights, which I did not realize until right this minute.
That's
That's
a
a really
great.
good movie.
That's a
Uh,
Boogie Nights is great. I mean, again, come on. We know Marky Mark all day.
oh, that's true. He was so fourth person
Fourth.
from Boogie
Oh, I thought
Nights.
that's who you had him. Marky. I mean,
No,
dude,
no,
he
I've
had a
had,
prosthetic penis, so they say.
but
Nah,
no,
he's just well hung. He's just
Julianne
well hung.
Moore, Don Cheadle, Mark
Don
Wahlberg,
Cheadle.
William H. Macy. They were
Yeah.
all in that movie. So
Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights. Very good movie.
I haven't watched that in a good long time.
You got to watch it again. It's very, very good. But next up, Casino, and obviously we're both picking Chargers. Next up, Browns Jaguars is my pick for a game I will watch absolutely zero of.
I would agree.
I think this is
I'm
going to
right
be
there
a
with you.
very ugly bad game.
So I gotta ask, and can I not pick that as my blowout of the week? Can we
No,
not?
no,
Can we,
you
I was
can.
gonna say, can we just? How about this? We just can't pick Giants or Panthers as blowouts of the week.
Yes, after this week, we can't. That's not a. But then again, we also did both cheat and first week because we thought Patriots are going to be really bad, and we both picked them for blowout. So after this week, we can't pick any Panthers or Giants games
Okay.
because we want to
I mean,
beat
I
up
would.
these.
If you want, I can gladly change my pick to Ravens
No,
Raiders.
no, no, no. You can if you want to pick Raiders Ravens, you can, or this can be your last week to pick against the Panthers.
All right, I'm gonna pick against the Panthers.
There you go. But next up, Casino, we're talking Browns at Jaguars.
Why?
And this is Halle
That's
Berry,
okay. That's why.
born in Cleveland, famous WWE diva, Kelly, born in Jacksonville. Who you picking in this one, Casino?
Swordfish. I mean, Halle Berry. Sorry, I'm just thinking of the time I saw her tits for the first time.
Inappropriate, Casino. This is
No,
This
no,
is a Disney
this is
owned
a Disney show.
This is
Actually, in all reality, I'm gonna pick the Jaguars.
yeah. I am as well.
I'm gonna pick the Jaguars.
Also, it's fun to root against Deshaun Watson. So why
All
would
day.
you ever want to pick him where you have to be rooting for him
And
to
I'm
win you a
still
game?
waiting for Trevor Lawrence to be my goddamn MVP.
Maybe he'll be MVP in 2033, and we were just too early. 2033. But yeah, it's Jaguars all day. I think they look like the better team, even though they did lose to the Dolphins. At least it was like literally one or two plays change in that game, and they're blowing out the Dolphins. So Browns, you never for 1 second thought they had a chance against the Cowboys like 5 minutes into that game. The Browns are bad. Their defense is still great, but they have no Nick Chubb. They have a criminal at quarterback. So it's like, what are we doing here? Next up, Casino. Jets at Titans. Who you got in this one?
You're gonna be surprised, but I'm gonna go the Titans.
You're gonna go the Titans, really?
I am. I did not like what I saw last week with.
So you're just
New
fully
York.
out on the Jets.
Pretty much. I think Aaron Rodgers is a joke. Here's the thing. What I saw, and it was widely confirmed when I was listening to Colin the other day. He was only going to his left. He was not. Yes, honey, great job. You did. I'm so proud of you. She turned the TV by herself. Good job, girl.
Yeah. You've seen his pass chart, right? Where it's like every single one of his passes.
Everything was to the left. He's
side.
very readable. And I think he's having some PTSD. He's always checking that and making sure nobody's coming up behind him. So I think if that continues and he can't fix that, I mean that's an easy win for the Titans. So yes, this is an upset, but that wasn't my upset of the week. My upset of the week is the Patriots. But I do have the Titans pulling this off. I do. Go Titans.
Yeah, I do think that. Oh, I haven't. Speaking of Titans, Casino, I do. This
Highly
is
inappropriate. Okay,
uh,
you're okay. Well, maybe not. Those are
so it is Megan Fox, born in Tennessee, against J
God.
Lo,
That
born
blows
in
my
New
mind that
York.
that's Megan Fox. She doesn't look anything like what she used to.
I know, I know.
And you know what?
Um,
J Lo still looks the exact same as she
she's looked
was
the exact same for 30, 20, 30 years,
20 to
and
30 years. I would say
it's
easily
good.
20 years. She looks the exact same.
But when it comes to these two teams, Casino, I do think when you look at what happened on Monday night and with Aaron Rodgers, it's like the only highlights of that game were like two throws, and then it's kind of just he's stays in the pocket too long, he gets rid of the ball too fast in terms of like throwing the ball away
He
too
seems
fast.
like he's already fed up with his offensive coordinator and his coach.
Yeah. So also, can we stop acting like Robert Sala is anything but a good defensive coordinator? He's not a good head coach. He never has been. There's never been like a case to be made that he is. I don't know why we keep trying to act like coaching in this league doesn't matter and the Jets are bad, probably because they have a bad head coach. Like, why? I don't know why we never just put those pieces together, but I am picking the Jets solely because I do think they make bad quarterbacks look bad, and that's why they didn't make Purdy look bad because he's not a bad quarterback. Will Levis might be a top 5 bottom quarterback in this league. So if a Robert Sala defense is going to get beat by Will Levis, I think that's a fireable offense, and I think he knows that. I don't think that
I don't know what you're talking about. Will Levis was great last week for the Bears.
yeah. So this is one of those things where it's like even at the end of the Belichick era in the Patriots, it was like Zach Wilson is not coming in to beat a bad Patriots team, right? So that's I feel like Robert Sala is one of the top 3 best defensive like coordinators in the league. There's no way in hell that a Will Levis with these weapons in Tennessee and a brand new head coach are going to beat a Jets defense coached by Robert Sala.
Well, from
That's
what I'm
all I
looking
have.
at, Tennessee's got 2 weapons.
We can't air this episode, Casino. Disney will cancel us. But let's go to the next one, and that is Raiders at
I don't know what you're
Ravens.
talking about, man.
Let's go to the two hottest celebrities that represent both Baltimore and that represent the Las Vegas Raiders, if I can find this damn picture. And that is and that is of course Stavros, probably the most famous Baltimore Ravens fan right now. And then we have the other most famous Las Vegas born celebrity that I know, and that is our very own Casino, representing Las Vegas. So who we got in this one, Casino? Raiders at Ravens.
Oh, god damn it. I, how do I bet against myself, man?
Well, you
Hey,
said you were going to get blown out.
I wish I did. Um, maybe we can't air this episode. I don't know. I'm going Ravens on this one. I think um, Baltimore has a bounce back game. Obviously, they didn't. It's not really even a bounce back game. They lost against the Chiefs, man, who look outstanding. But yeah, I mean they were a toe away from taking it into overtime, and you never know what happens in overtime. Especially if they got the ball first. I mean, they could have just ran that ball down their throat,
Yeah.
just killed the clock. So,
Yeah, the way to look at this Ravens team is they almost went to overtime. We're a toe off going to overtime against probably again the best team in the league.
so I'm
So
hold on. I'm gonna show my. She just got home. I'm gonna show my wife. So we were doing pictures of the hottest local celebrities in each city for teams. Look who we got for the Las Vegas Raiders.
if she I mean she can't disagree with
Me,
that.
just oh,
Wow.
wow.
Even she disagrees with my pick. But
I am a local celebrity.
That's true.
The podcast. Wow. Wow. Well,
Dang.
maybe we really can't air this episode.
Especially with
Oh,
how
she just said that makes me. I'm not more of a celebrity than BJ. So like, hey, so am I hotter than you? Are you calling
wow.
BJ hot? Oh, this is.
But what are the odds that on Casino's horniest episode ever, his wife rejects him on screen? I mean, it's sad. It's sad. But this is modern masculinity for you. All right, let's go. Let's go to our last game of the week, Casino, and that is Steelers at Broncos. I mean, talk about an ugly game that is just
The Steelers are gonna go. The Steelers are gonna go 2-0. That stupid Steelers guy is gonna be on this show again.
And we go from hottest celebrities to hottest celebrities, Casino. Julie Benz, famous from Dexter, was born in Pittsburgh, and then TJ Miller, a favorite of ours, born in Denver, Colorado. Yeah, I don't see, again, Steelers look like they potentially have the best defense in the league. Broncos, Bo Nix had spurts, but he played an awful game. I don't like Sean Payton at all. Yeah. So when it comes to this game, I mean, what else can you say? I don't think Broncos have anything, even though I will always mention me getting shit, much like Casino will mention him getting shit for the Steelers. I will always mention getting shit for saying the Broncos were going to be bad, and then they're going to be 0-2 to start the season. So with that being said, Casino, do you have anything for Casino's Corner?
No, I don't. Not today. I was very, very ill prepared. It's my son's birthday. If you saw this turned around, my entire house, and I'm surprised my wife hasn't said anything about it. I turned it into a tunnel fort for my daughter. So I was too busy doing that. I was too busy hanging out with my kids this morning instead of looking stuff up.
Yeah, and I was too busy looking up pictures of celebrities and where they were born for
You
this
were
podcast.
taking care of the podcast. I was
yeah.
I was being a good father.
And then college football, Casino, also, I don't really think they have a marquee matchup this week. Nothing I'm really like, I gotta see, but there's a couple here and there.
I told you I can't wait to see on Friday Kansas and UNLV. I think that's going to be a great one. We also have K-State versus Arizona, so 2 top 20 teams.
That one I'm looking forward to. Yeah,
I am looking forward to seeing that game. So that'll be fun. That'll be one of the big ones. And Boston College ranked 24th now, which is good for them. Missouri's going to blow them out though.
I'll tell you what. Maybe sneaky interesting game is Tulane at Oklahoma.
That is going to be a sneaky game. I liked
what I saw from Tulane last week.
I did too, but I want Oklahoma to blow them out because Houston had a really good game against Oklahoma, and UNLV beat Houston. The one that I'm excited to see is Oregon and Oregon State. Oregon slacking, and Oregon State, man, I want to see them come out and pop those beavers in the mouth.
We can't air this episode. It'll get.
What are you talking about? I don't understand. I just don't get it. I
will say Tulane and Oklahoma State, I trust neither of their quarterbacks, so I think that'll be the downfall of both.
And do you think Purdue takes down Notre Dame?
I mean, how can you not after what we saw from Notre Dame last week? I do also think that'll be a good game.
So my big games this week to watch, obviously is going to be, like I said, UNLV Kansas tomorrow, Arizona Kansas State tomorrow evening as well. Even though Boston College and Missouri are both ranked top 25, I don't care about that at all. I think Missouri is going to blow them out. But Oregon State, that rivalry matchup early on in the season is going to be real fun. Yeah. And then Oklahoma and Tulane, just because you're right, Tulane played well. Oklahoma, we'll see how they do. And then I think Purdue knocks out Notre Dame.
I think a very midweek all around in college football, but not really miserable. Kind of a bunch of like interesting teams playing each other. So with no Casino's Corner, this is the end of the podcast, Casino, a podcast that I should edit, that I won't edit anything out of. And we will see you Sunday night for the solo show, and then Casino and I will be back together on Tuesday to talk about all the things that happened this weekend in sports. Tonight should be a good one with Browns Dolphins, and yeah, I'll see you Sunday night. Both Casino and I will see you
Bills
Tuesday.
Dolphins, not Browns Dolphins.
That's true. Bills Dolphins. This has been the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. Adios.